The budget Chi-Fi IEM scene is like a bloody battlefield. There's casualties left and right. What you think might be the strong team 1 minute is defeated in the next. And in that spirit, in this video, I'm reviewing the EPZ Q1 Pro IEM. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? David here from Prime Audio Reviews. And the Q1 Pro here comes in at a price of $29. So we are definitely in that budget area. That is the box. It's pretty cool. You need the right angle of light to be able to see anything on there, what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Anyway, inside, the accessories are somewhat sparse. But let's get right into it. Let's just get into it. So here's the cable. It is an OFC or oxygen-free copper cable, and it's pretty decent. It's not bad at all for a $30 IEM. It is a little bit thin above the Y split, but it doesn't tangle that much in my experience. So nothing wrong with the cable. I'm okay with that. And then we've got these beauties here. Now check this out. I mean, $30? Are you kidding me? 5 years ago, there was nothing under 100 that looked this good. Well, there might have been, but not from memory, there wasn't. Anyway, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So we've got this kind of blue celluloid faceplates with the EPZ logo on them, and they are comfortable too. Check them out. So you got a nice nozzle length there, and the fit is great. Standard non-recessed 2-pin connection, and unbelievable how good these look. But enough with all that. We're going to get right into the sound because we've got a lot to talk about today. I should also mention that this IEM has a single dynamic driver, 10mm, and let's throw up the graph. That's what it looks like. Pretty nice. And I'd say the Q1 Pro is characterized by a slight V shape, very slight, pretty balanced overall, but a very mature sound. It does have some similarities to other recent popular budget IEMs. You got Nuo, the Truthy Gate, etc., offering a fairly neutral presentation with a gentle sub-bass boost. Talking about the bass now, the bass is lean and clean. It prevents any bleeding into the mid-range, absolutely. And this clarity, it does open up the lower mids, but at the same time, it also sacrifices impact in the mid and upper bass and rhythm as well. And I think, in my opinion, ultimately it leads to less engagement. So there is a nice lift in the sub bass, and that does add some depth. But the mid bass lacks punch and it lacks body, and this is likely to be the most contentious aspect of the Q1 Pro's sound signature. It's definitely not suitable for bass heads, but I also feel that average listeners will also find the bass generally lacking. Then for the mid-range is spacious and it's clear, and that's thanks to that subdued mid and upper bass. This results in nice articulate vocals, but those vocals lack richness and they sound a bit nasally as well. String instruments also suffer, and they lack resonance, they lack warmth, and that diminishes their natural vibrancy and their emotional impact. And in addition, the upper mid-range can get a little bit shouty as you turn up the volume. Now, the treble is probably the best aspect, in my opinion, of the Q1 Pro's sound signature. It's crisp and it's detailed. It's got surprisingly good timbre for a $30 IEM. And despite the lack of bass to counterbalance the treble, it's not particularly forward, nor is it overly assertive or aggressive in the treble. So the treble is fairly inoffensive, but it does have some nice vibrancy there without stepping into harshness. All right, we're going to go. I won't talk about the technicalities. They're pretty average. You know, having that extra spaciousness in the mid-range does not really improve the overall resolution, nor does it really make the soundstage any bigger. It's just fairly average from top to bottom in terms of technicality. So I'm going to jump straight into some comparisons. We'll start with the SimGot EW200. That's it right there. The EW200 has a comparable sub-bass level, but it enhances the mid-bass and the lower mid-range presence as well. And this creates a more organic and a more natural tone in contrast to the Q1 Pro, which is somewhat hollow and unsaturated. Or in other words, very dry and kind of clinical. The mids are richer on the SimGot and they have more note weight, whereas the Q1 Pro, it lacks power and depth in its mid-range. The EW200's lower treble is more upfront, but the treble has a warmer tone. Now, both IEMs have a comparable soundstage in terms of dimensions, but the EW200 has superior resolution and better instrument separation, and probably, I would say, better imaging on top of that. All right, next up, we have the Kiwi Ears Cadenza. And look at this. We've got the Battle of the Beauties, Battle of the Budget Beauties. So Triple B going on here. Look at that. They are both stunning. The Cadenza, I'm tempted to say it looks a little bit nicer. I love that contrast with the black and the blue. It's beautiful. Shells, very, very similar. But in terms of sound, they are quite different. The Cadenza is definitely warmer. It has more bass quantity, more sub bass and more mid bass and thicker mids. While at the same time, it has a fairly similar treble, but because of that raised bass, the Cadenza's treble, it sounds quite warm, a little bit laid back. And for me, that was the thing I didn't like about the Cadenza, was the treble was just a little bit too subdued. And in addition, the attack on percussion, like the transients in the mid-range, was just a little bit too soft. But if I had to make a choice, I would probably take the Cadenza just because I don't like sacrificing musicality in favor of an audiophile tuning. All right, next we've got the Zigat Nuo. And if you watch my channel regularly, you probably know that I'm a big fan of the Zigat Nuo. And once again, the Nuo here has got more bass than the Q1 Pro. Fairly similar in terms of sub-bass quantity, but the Nuo doesn't sort of scoop out that mid and upper bass, and that just gives it a fuller sound. It gives it more body, more note weight, and I think it sounds more natural. And at the same time, it actually improves overall resolution. And it's going to be hard for me to articulate why that is. Maybe I'll do a video or an article about that sometime in the future. But honestly, I think that sucking out that mid and upper bass is, people think that it's giving them a higher fidelity sound, but well, yeah, let's not get into it. Anyway, the Nuo here, so it's a bit warmer, a bit more full, but at the same time, it's still got a similar level of upper mid-range forwardness. So vocals and female vocals sound nice and forward and rich and vibrant, yet they are still very articulate. They're not colored, and the sound signature is not too dark. And the Nuo does have a little bit more core treble lift, which helps to counterbalance that extra weight that it has in the low end. So the Nuo would be my choice there. So out of these four, I would put the EPZ Q1 in fourth place, i.e. last. It's just like, it's close to being great. It's actually not bad, especially considering the price. I mean, $29. It's definitely not a bad IEM, but I just find it a little bit lifeless. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't make my favorite music sound as good as I think it should sound, but I can definitely see the potential there, and I'm keen to try out more EPZ stuff. They make beautiful IEMs. They make pretty good sounding stuff too, but this one, I just think it's not all that. And having said that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching the video. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, audiophile style. If you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button before you go. If you would like to support the channel, hey, check out my Patreon link down below. And until next time, I'll see you later.